Professor Fuchsjäger, thank you for joining us. ECR 2019 is the 25th to take place in Vienna, your hometown. When was your first ECR, and how much has the Congress changed since then?
Well, my first ECR was unbelievingly 21 years ago, in 99. So it's my 21st Congress right now, and of course there have been great changes. Actually, everything increased in size. When I was here the first time, we were just meeting in the Austria Center, and now we have all these buildings that are attached now to this main hall, like the M building. We have the high sky stage, we have the church, we have the DC box, and many other places. In 99, we had refresher course programs and scientific sessions mainly. Now we have a full variety of other sessions like coffee and talk, like women in focus, like the Cube, where we can do hands-on work even as residents or as students. The exhibition floor or the exhibition space, which is also highly important for us to stay abreast of technical evolvements in radiology, has increased. I think we're holding now 26,000 square meters of exhibition floor, and all this together is truly amazing.
And do you have a favorite feature or session at this year's Congress?
Well, what I like is the new format of coffee and talk, because it's in a very relaxed atmosphere, but the talks and the information you get there is on the highest level. We have the let's say, best expert in radiology around the world invited for these sessions. I also have one session which I'm very much looking forward to. It's a session on communication with our patients, how to transmit information and how information is received, because I guess this is one point besides our professional knowledge, expertise, that we can improve on.
And you are the current second vice president of the ESR, so in 2021 you will take charge of the ECR. What can attendees expect from that meeting?
It's true, it's just 2 years away. It will of course be the greatest radiology show on earth, as every year.
Of course.
Yeah. But this Congress specifically, you know that every ECR surpasses the year before, and the year before was the greatest ECR to that date. So it will be the greatest show. But besides that, there will be, of course, a basis of exceptional and highest quality refresher courses and scientific programs. Plenary sessions, of course, we will improve on coffee and talk, and maybe new formats. Perhaps we will have formats and features that we don't even know yet, because at ECR, creativity is based. Yeah? We can come up with ideas in a very short time that are very attractive for our attendees. So this year we have the Women in Focus program. Perhaps we'll have another In Focus program. Then we will have other hands-on sessions. Perhaps we will open ourselves a little bit to patients, perhaps to families, to kids. Perhaps we will offer something else for radiologists, like a basic life support course or something like this.
Do you already know which countries will take part in the ESR Meets program?
Yes, we have decided on that, and I'm very happy to announce it's the first Congress in 21 where we will have 4 Meets countries, Meets regions. First of all, it will be India. India is the country with the most members at the European Society of Radiology. India just surpassed 10,000 members. So I'm very happy and proud that India will be a Meets country in 21. The second Meets region will be the Arab countries. This will be Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Oman. And this is very important for me because this region is kind of a second home for me. I had the chance to work in a leadership position in the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi for 3.5 years. So this is a little bit like bringing my home to my true home in Austria. And then, of course, it's the president's home country, which is Austria. And I'm very, very happy to have Austria as a Meets country. And the fourth Meets country, Meets region, will be Armenia, also for the first time. And I'm very happy that we could make this happen.
Wonderful. And as well as being an ESR Vice President, you're also chair of the Value-Based Radiology Subcommittee. What is value-based radiology, and why is it so important?
Well, you said it's very important, but first of all, we have to understand what it actually means. And sometimes we have to look up these definitions ourselves. With value-based healthcare, it's kind of a concept, a framework for optimizing patient outcomes in terms of costs of delivery of healthcare. And this is a concept that was firstly proposed by Michael Porter in his publication, in his landmark publication, in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2010. And the background actually is that there has been a massive rise in usage of health care and of associated costs, of course, and that we have to understand that the medical inflation rises or runs at a higher pace than the cost of living inflation. And we have to try to build sustainable healthcare systems, and value-based healthcare will help here and might be a basis, a framework that will be perhaps needed to be used, that we can be sustainable here. What Dr. Porter also came up with in his publication was the so-called value equation. That value is defined by outcomes, health outcomes of patients, or that we achieve for patients relative to the costs of achieving them. So it's not all about costs in healthcare, it's also about outcomes, about our value that we can actually add. And just to mention University of Utah in the United States, they have amended this value equation and also brought in the patient experience, because this also counts. It's not just about the diagnosis, but also how the patient feels when he comes to the hospital or radiology department. So the equation then would be changed to value is outcome plus experience divided by costs. And this is what we are going for.
So can you tell us a little bit about the most recent projects of the value-based radiology subcommittee?
So currently we are working on a manuscript, on a paper with other major societies around the world, with the RSNA, Radiological Society of North America, with the ACR, American College of Radiology, the ISSR, which is the International Society for Strategic Studies in Radiology, and the Royal Australian New Zealand College of Radiology. It's kind of a statement paper to give radiology visibility in the framework of value-based healthcare and to define its role, which is absolutely needed at the current stage. Currently, this manuscript is in the drafting phase, and we expect a publication by the end of this year. We do have another project which is important, a survey for our patients I think it was translated into 8 languages, which is currently out there for answering. It's on value in healthcare, on value-based radiology in general, just to get an understanding if patients know or understand what value-based radiology means, or where they see value in radiology.
Okay. One final question. If you could start over, perhaps go back to your student days, would you still choose radiology? And if so, why?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I was lucky. Yeah, it was the right choice that I made. And it was actually really a choice for me to make, because my father was a surgeon and my grandfather was a surgeon as well. And so it was pretty clear that my path will lead to surgery as well. And in the beginning, I was focused on surgery. But then during my medical studies, I could see that there's radiology and there are images, and that we can look into the human body, not only with ultrasound or CT, but also with MRI, perhaps with other modalities in the near future. And this was fascinating for me, because I'm a very visual type. So I chose radiology. My father was very unhappy at that time. But in the meantime, he understood why I chose it, because it's somehow the driver of innovation in medicine, radiology, and it's a wonderful. It's the best specialty that you can choose, because you're connected to all fields of medicine. It's not just about a leg or the brain or the breast or the stomach. Everything is included in radiology, and you have, of course, then the choice to subspecialize. It was the perfect choice.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for the invitation.